between wildfires, tornadoes, hurricanes, and winter storms, 2017 was a huge year in weather, and I'm here to recap the top 10 weather events of 2017. The first official forecast for Harvey began on August 17th, way out in the Atlantic. Harvey then moved east past a group of islands called the Lesser Antilles, and on August 19th, Harvey actually dissipated. The remnants crossed the Yucatan Peninsula into the Gulf of Mexico, and that's where things start to ramp up. Wednesday, August 23rd, Harvey reforms over the Gulf as a tropical depression, quickly strengthening into a tropical storm hours later, and then achieving hurricane strength 12 hours after that. At this point, Harvey is about 40 hours out from landfall. Harvey then went through something called rapid intensification. Warm, moist air combined with warm ocean water in a fairly calm ambient atmosphere set the stage for this process. In just 40 hours, Harvey went from a Category 1 to a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. At 10 p.m. on August 25th, Harvey made landfall in Port Aransas, Texas, bringing devastating winds, rain, and storm surge. This landfall marked the end to an historic 11-year-long drought of no major hurricanes making landfall in the continental United States. One of the most notable aspects of Harvey was the sheer amount of rain that poured for days and days across Texas. Harvey moved slowly and lingered across southeastern Texas, bringing a widespread 30 inches of rain to the Houston-Galveston area, with some places receiving over 50 inches of rain. Due to the widespread flooding, Harvey became the costliest hurricane on record, incurring nearly $200 billion in damages. This one is a little personal for me, as I live in Colorado and many of my family members were actually impacted by this storm. On May 8th, severe weather came through and the atmosphere was primed for large hail. As storms formed and rush hour approached, disaster was in store for the Denver metro area. Tennis and baseball-sized hail plummeted from the sky, hitting northwest Denver and the northern suburbs the hardest. Cars were dented, windows were smashed, and roofs were damaged, totaling over $1.5 billion in damage. This event became one of the costliest weather events in Colorado history, joining the 2013 floods as events with over $1.5 billion in damage. Nationally, this was a tough year for wildfires, with 9.5 million acres succumbing to wildfires, nearly 50% more than the 10-year average. The season went out with a bang with the Thomas Fire in Southern California, burning nearly 250,000 acres of land, becoming the largest wildfire in California history. California also saw 3 of the top 10 most destructive wildfires in state history. The Tubbs Fire, which burned north of San Francisco, became the most destructive wildfire in California history after burning over 5,500 structures. The Nuns Fire, also in the Bay Area, claimed 1,300 structures, ranking as the 6th most destructive fire in California history. Property damages already exceed $9 billion and are sure to increase after everything is tallied up after the Thomas Fire. On August 30th, Irma formed, becoming the 9th named storm in the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season. Irma quickly became a hurricane after that, and after a few days of spinning in the Atlantic became a major hurricane. On September 4th, Irma became a Category 5 hurricane, reaching maximum sustained wind speeds of 185 miles per hour, tying a number of storms for the highest maximum sustained wind speeds of any Atlantic hurricane. Unfortunately, Irma made a total of 5 landfalls across the Caribbean as a Category 5 hurricane, including the British Virgin Islands and Cuba. The southern half of Irma interacted with the mountains of Cuba for several days, actually weakening the storm slightly prior to landfalling in the Florida Keys on the morning of September 10th. Irma went back over open water and made a second landfall as a Category 3 hurricane in Marco Island, Florida. Irma was the first major hurricane to make landfall in Florida since Wilma did the same thing in 2005. Irma's powerful winds brought destruction across the Caribbean and southeastern United States, leaving millions without power and racking up a total of $60 billion of damages. It was a big chase day for some, but a harrowing tornado outbreak for others. Over a 3-day period in May, 76 tornadoes occurred across Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas. These storms also brought damaging winds, severe hail, and localized flooding. No year in weather is complete without a monster snowstorm, and in mid-March, the northeastern United States got exactly that. Dubbed Winter Storm Stella by the Weather Channel, this storm brought a widespread foot of snow from northeastern Pennsylvania all the way to northern Maine. Upstate New York received the brunt of the storm, with many areas getting over 30 inches of the white stuff. A ski resort in Vermont, Bolton Valley, received the most snow during this event, 58 inches of the white fluffy stuff. As Liz Lemon would say, I want to go there. Over $2 billion were spent this year fighting wildfires, marking a record for the nation. This includes Montana, which had 2 fires that burned over 100,000 acres of land. The largest of them was the Lodgepole Complex Fire, burning nearly 250,000 acres of forest and grassland, second only to the Thomas Fire in Southern California. The Lodgepole Complex Fire began when lightning struck an area with drought conditions in Montana. The 2017 tornado season got off to a fast start in January with 2 tornado outbreaks, one of which occurring in the last week of January. Severe weather took shape and 81 tornadoes were confirmed over the southeastern United States, making it both the second largest January tornado outbreak and third largest winter tornado outbreak in recorded history. One of the most notable tornadoes during the outbreak occurred near Albany, Georgia, with a path length over 70 miles, making it one of the longest tornado paths since 1950. In total, these storms incurred nearly $1 billion in damages. The 2017 to 2018 winter season got off with a bang when the Deep South was handed an historic snowfall. From southeastern Texas to Atlanta, the unusual snowfall brought winter to areas that hadn't seen this much snow in quite some time. The National Weather Service in Brownsville, Texas, reported their entire area receiving some accumulation of the fluffy stuff, marking a first since December 2004. 4 months after Harvey, even Houston became a winter wonderland with 1 to 2 inches of snow falling. This storm is so rare and so odd, it is bound to inspire a slew of future meteorologists. On September 16th, the National Hurricane Center began forecasting for Tropical Depression Maria. A day later, it became a Category 1 hurricane. In just 18 hours after that, Maria rapidly intensified, similar to Harvey, to a Category 5 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 160 miles per hour. Maria peaked in intensity with winds of 175 miles per hour in the eye wall and a minimum pressure of 908 millibars in the eye. Pressure is commonly used as a measure of overall hurricane strength to compare hurricanes from year to year, and Maria's pressure of 908 millibars ranks as the 10th lowest of any Atlantic hurricane on record. Maria ended up making 2 landfalls, first as a Category 5 with 160 mile per hour winds on the island of Dominica, causing over $1 billion in damages. Infamously, Maria then went on to make landfall in Puerto Rico, bringing destructive winds and flooding rains, causing nearly $100 billion in damages. Puerto Ricans still today don't have access to power or clean drinking water. There are links in the description to donate to Maria Relief and any of the weather events that I talked about today. What was your favorite weather event of 2017? Leave it in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.